Good morning everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now it's really early, but I woke up just in time for the new Mahogany Homes update. For those who don't know, this is an alternative construction training method that will yield much lower experience rates, but will also be much less click intensive and much cheaper. Now this is my first impressions and testing it out for the first time, so methods will change. Now construction contracts are available right from level 1 and range from levels 1 to 70. Now to get a contract, you just go a bit east of the Falador estate agent and talk to Amy. So after a bit of a conversation, we're going to accept a contract and accept a expert contract. Okay, so we're going to Larry north of the fountain in Falador. Now on this account, I've been doing the Mahogany tier homes, which is level 70. So keep in mind, it's going to vary a bit depending on the construction level you're at. So for my inventory, I'm bringing a saw, a hammer, runes to cast the NPC contact spell because you can use that to talk to Amy, which does speed things up. I'm bringing a ring of dueling and I also have one equipped, just an extra one. I'm bringing house teleport tablets, Ardoon teleport tablets, and Varrock teleport tablets. I'm also bringing one steel bar and the rest mahogany planks. Now my thought process here is, having tested it, I've come to the conclusion that without the plank sack, it's very unlikely that you can complete 2 contracts in a row, which means you need to bank after every contract anyway. Now because of that, I think it's actually quicker to bring the teleport tablets versus using your POH, as you do lose a bit of time going to your POH, going to the Nexus or teleports, rather than just teleporting directly there. Also, if you don't have the Nexus or the portal room in your POH, just using the teleport tablets is a really good option anyway. Now as we're talking about teleports, let's talk about the ones that are important. Now for my testing, the contracts bring you to 3 main locations: Falador, Varrock, and Hosidius. And generally, they are pretty close to the town center. So for example, Ardoin, you're going to want to teleport right to the Ardoin market for most of them. For Varrock, you're going to want to teleport directly to the Varrock Square, not to the Grand Exchange. And for Hosidius, the quickest way I found to get there is to have a mounted Xerax talisman in your house, and I would recommend configuring it to the Xerax Glade. That way it's just a one-click teleport directly there. There are of course alternative teleport methods, but those are the closest ones I could find. Okay, so since we have the NPC contact spell, we can just go get a contract anywhere. We're going to go use it. We're going to talk to Amy. Alternatively, another really good option to using the NPC contact spell is to use the Falador Park teleport on the Ring of Wealth, which will teleport you actually very close by. It's probably only slightly slower. So from here, we're going to hit the 4 button to accept a level 4 contract, and the 2 button to hit yes. Okay, so for example, here we have to go to Hosidius, and we're going to talk to Barbara. Okay, so well, we were already there, but for this one, we're just going to go to the Xerax Glade in our house. Now, if you don't have access to that, the house portal teleport would be okay, as well as the Caress Memoir would be pretty good. Okay, so this one's actually south from here. Now, I would recommend having your chat open because there's some key information here, and if you don't read what Amy says because you're just skipping through it like I do, it's useful to have the information there. So this one's located right here, and the really important part is just knowing where the locations are. And honestly, it only took me about half an hour to get used to it. So from here, we're going to go to everything that has a red outline around it. We're going to click on it once to remove it, to build a mahogany item or the tier that you're at anyway. Now, some things won't have a red outline around them, but you still will have to repair them. For example, we have to repair the range, and that is why we brought the steel bar. We got the drawer here. Is there anything left? Yes, and we have to repair this clock as well. Once everything's repaired, you'll get a green text message down here saying that Barbara or whoever seems happy with your work. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that when you're finishing the contract, you have an option to take a cup of tea. Now, this will actually fully restore your run energy, but make sure you go through all the chat options. Pretty nifty for those who don't really have a POH or maybe low agility, just something that's pretty useful. Afterwards, go talk to the NPC again. You'll get a chunk of experience. Now from here, I've been teleporting right back to Castle Wars, or of course if you have a crafting cape, that would also be very good. From here, we're banking, withdrawing 1 more steel bar, the rest mahogany planks, and then we're casting the NPC contact spell. From here, we're going to go hit the 4 button, hit the 2 button, accept the contract. I don't even read it, I just look at it in the chat. Okay, again, we're going back to Hosidius. Okay, so this one is east of the town market. Again, we're going to go repair this bench here, and then just go ahead and start repairing stuff once again. Now keep in mind, the Mahogany Homes can have stuff to repair on 2 separate levels, and occasionally in 2 separate rooms, but it will always be a part of the same home. So for example, in this place, we need to go up the ladder, and there'll be a couple more things to repair upstairs. Now, if I was to give a brief bit of feedback, I wish there was a red indicator around all of the items you need to repair, because otherwise it's just kind of confusing. Okay, we've done another contract. Talk to Leela again. Finish it. Teleport back to Castle Wars. Go withdraw another steel bar and a mahogany plank. And we'll go cast the NPC contact spell again. We'll do one more just to give you the idea. Okay, next up here, we're going to East Ardoin. And here's where I find the teleport tablets are kind of nifty. You could teleport to your home, go to your Nexus, or go to your portal room, but I find just using the tablet is quite a bit quicker. Now this one's located in the pet shop here up on the 2nd floor. Now keep in mind these teleport tablets probably won't be as good of an idea once you get the plank sack, because then you won't have to bank after every contract. But for now they are doing fairly nicely. That is the basis of the construction contract. So what exactly are my first impressions here? Well, it looks like you'll be able to get up to around 200k per hour once I learn it a bit better, get the plank sack, stuff like that. I like the rewards. The rewards are cool. I would do this honestly just to get the house kit recolor. The equipable saw is really nifty. I like that there's a way to spend the carpenter points even once you have everything, so there's no reason to stop doing these things. So I think the rewards are really well done, nothing too game breaking, but something that fits. Now I'm finding this still fairly click intensive, obviously much less so than the conventional training methods, but still fairly intensive. And personally, I think I'll probably still go with the conventional training methods to 99 just because it's, well, over 4 times quicker. That said though, I will probably do Mahogany Homes just to get some of the rewards, and overall actually I do quite like the update. And I think it's a really good other option for players who are newer, don't have as much money, and want to do something that may be considered a bit more fun and more relaxed. Alright guys, so I ended up doing it for pretty much exactly half an hour. Now, I managed to get a 175k per hour construction experience, and that was trying fairly hard. So based on that, I think it's definitely possible to get 200k or more per hour once you have access to the plank sack and are more well practiced. Now in half an hour, I ended up using 236 mahogany planks, which equates to around 450 to 500 planks per hour. We used only 13 steel bars in the half an hour, which is about 26 per hour, which means our net cost per hour, not including anything you may buy with the carpenter points, was 950k per hour. Now that equates to around 5.5 GP per XP, which when you compare that to regular construction methods with mahogany planks is about 2 to 3 times cheaper. Now, as far as carpenter points go, we ended up getting around 76 points in half an hour, which means per hour you're going to get roughly 150 points. Of course, these estimates could be a bit low, and as the meta and more methods are discovered, it could go up a bit more. However, essentially, for me, it would take me around 13 hours to get the full builder set, or to purchase the Hosidius house recolor, as they're both 2,000 points. The equipable saw would take around 3 to 4 hours to buy, and the plank sack would only take around 2 to 3 hours. Now if I was to give this a rating of intensity, well, my wrists are definitely a little sore after it. Building mahogany tables in your POH, I would give a 10 out of 10, being the most destructive on your wrists, and I would give this maybe a 6. So fairly intensive still, but much less so. And also being about 2.5 times cheaper is a really nice plus as well, although it's still definitely pretty expensive compared to most skills. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for my day 1 guide and first impressions. I hope you guys found it useful. Now before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to RevolverOcilot and Kush Patel, who subscribed at my Dragon tier of YouTube membership, as well as a massive thank you to Nathan Ashworth, Double Talk, Heathenlok Games, and Basstich. Thank you for making the dream possible. I appreciate you guys a lot. If you're looking for another way to support the channel, an awesome way to do so is just to become a YouTube member. By doing so, you will receive a custom Discord role, access to my video release schedule, as well as being mentioned